And we are back surfing for some new energies that we have not seen before in both the collective unconscious and the astrology. Hunter and the hunted. And we're going to explore all the different places in the astrology where this vibe, that's another meme, holds up in the astrology. And we'll get to talking about the solution after that. But first, we got to know what the collective unconscious is dreaming so that we know what kind of future we're creating, what kind of energy is being played on us. Some of it's being played, some of it's just by the astrology coming through these planets and alignments. We want to be on the leading edge, knowing what types of energies are out there so that we can surf it correctly. So here we go. In these red arrows, the hunted is rabbit and the hunter is represented by eagle. And then you have all sorts of words that imply, what is being hunted, what it feels like, the scary part of it, all that stuff. And then we have in the blue arrows, we have relationships and family, because you have these relationship types like uncle and I think boy down here, but you have the word relationship, and then some of these verbs in here like asking and kind to each other. So anyway, relationships. Then you have clear vibe words, and at first I thought it was the emotions of hunter and hunted, which I think it is, but like fears. But you have shift, which can be a shift of vibration, and you have the word vibration, and of course darkness, that's along the lines of hunter hunted. So what do you make of that? So we just have a meme called vibes. All right, let's go into the astrology. This is Wednesday, the 17th of April. And there's two basic aspects, and they're both in the evening. And actually, the first one happens in here in just a couple hours. If you're seeing this right after my recording on Tuesday evening at 11:29, this is on the 16th, Venus is going to make an opposition with the sun, with the moon. And then as it transits another not quite 24 hours, then the moon is going to hit an opposition with Mercury and Chiron. These Mercury is not quite far enough to make a conjunction with the healer Chiron, but it's close enough. And by our next surf report, we're going to be seeing both of them hugging each other, metaphorically, of course. But what do you make of this? We have our memes. Remember relationships? There's your relationship right there with Venus. And then vibes. Well, vibes, if I had to pick out a vibes, I'd go straight to Pisces. So, Pisces being all about vibes and feeling those deep emotions and telepathy and mysticism and all that kind of stuff. But look at this. Venus is in that rare space where you've got the influence of tropical Pisces, and then you have the sidereal Pisces. It's in that little sliver where you've got both of those. So Venus is in both tropical and sidereal Pisces. Did I say that right? Venus is in both. Yes, Venus. So relationships and vibes are actually together. It is very clear. The relationships are going to go on heightened alert because you've got the moon opposing that. It's going to be tonight. That puts question marks on your relationships. It puts question marks on your vibes and what you're feeling. Is this what I'm supposed to be? What am I supposed to be? What should I be feeling? Can we even put a should on emotions? I contend no. I don't think it's a healthy stance. And I can go into science with that, but we don't have time. Let's move on to surfing. So we have from the collective unconscious, relationships and vibes, I believe very much covered in here. And of course, Mercury being the communicator between the relationships. So that's obviously relationships as well. And your communication is a vibe, even if it's facial expression, that's a vibe. There's a physical vibration when I talk. There's vocal cords. There's an energy wave that goes out, and then you perceive it in your ears. So it's all there. It's all very clear. But what about this hunter hunted? Before we go to the next slide where all this hunter hunted is, guess where the hunter hunted would be on the zodiac? I think a lot of people would point over here to Sagittarius, because after all, he's got an archer and bow and arrow and that kind of thing, and and spitting out arrows forward. But I think a lot of people might just choose all these fire signs, because Leo is a lion after all, and lions are predatory animals. But there's an unseen hunter in here. If you look up in the sky, the hunter is going to arguably be Orion. Of course, Orion's not on the zodiac, but where is he? He is over here with Gemini. And I point to the sidereal Gemini because Orion is attached mostly to, not really attached, but most closely aligned with Gemini. And that's going to be where you're looking up in the sky. When you find Gemini, you'll find Orion very close by. Orion was the giant, the killer, the hunter. And so anyway, what's interesting is that Mars is in Gemini. So let's go ahead and look at the next slide. This is Thursday. We're going to start very early in the morning with a trine to Mars. It's in the tropical Gemini. Of course, Mars is not going to be anywhere close to the sidereal Gemini, and therefore not very close to the constellation Orion, but is approaching constellation Orion. Okay. And so that's significant. And I think that is worthy of this hunter hunted. I think that's close enough. I mean, you've got this ancient, the tropical represents our ancient heritage, our ancestral influence. And Orion is all over ancient civilizations, including Egypt and the pyramids there. It's all built, arguably, all built based on Orion and Orion's belt. Okay. So anyway, that's while you're sleeping. And so Orion, the hunter, might have some information for you through this little alignment here through the middle of the night. So that would be interesting. Then as you progress through the whole day on Thursday in the afternoon, 3:48, that's Central Time, the moon's going to make a square to Saturn, and then later on, 5 hours later, make a square to Pluto. These are squares that are in, tropical Capricorn, but sidereal Sagittarius. There's more hunting. And then even later at 10 p.m., you have the moon's going to progress far enough to make a sextile to lucky Jupiter. Now, Jupiter being in the ancestral influence of Sagittarius. So there's a lot of hunter just scattered everywhere. And we have this hunter hunted kind of energy. As you saw in the bot run, it was a little bit more of the hunted vibe. So fear and avoid and some other kind of darkness, that kind of stuff. So it's more about the hunted. And so what I'm going to be doing now, of course, the astute person should probably honor this. If we go back to Wednesday, so on Wednesday, honoring this relationship thing and that vibe in Pisces, you've got a rare opportunity to really explode your psychic ability. And then on Thursday, then switch over to Sagittarius, the hunter. And my slides are towards the hunter hunted energy because it's so much stronger in the collective unconscious. So here's my suggestions outright. Now, this is the National Dream Center slide for tomorrow, the Wednesday, the 18th. Hunter or hunted, which one are you? And I am contending that the same energy applies. There is that element of fear, and I'm suggesting transmuting that into a pure Sagittarius energy, which is more optimism, generousness. That's not hunter hunted, not at all. Enthusiasm, but exploring all that same kind of energy from the Sagittarius. And if you convert over and surf this properly, you can create a situation where you're now excited and optimistic about the future instead of in that fear-bound hunter or hunted. That's the concept here. And then intervention, social media. This is the current energy playbook. Convert your fear to excitement. It's kind of what I was alluding to before, as you adventure into the unknown future. None of us know the future. And the National Dream Center has been around trying to predict the future. If you're really interested in dreams predicting the future, I highly recommend you go back and look up National Dream Center Project August and read all about that. We predicted 119 headlines in that project, and 101 of them came true. So back to Wednesday and Thursday. Don't fall prey to the hunter-hunted paradigm and the resulting fear vibes. It gets you trapped in that material mindset, which, material is not all bad. Our material body could be more considered ego, and without ego, we have no place to learn and explore in this 3D material matrix. But it's when ego gets out of hand and gets exaggerated, maybe goes hunting too much, kills too many prey, that's where it becomes a problem, right? So I hope I explained everything right. If not, ask the questions below. Keep me honest. If I had mistakes, typos in this, then feel free to let me know. I don't take any of that personally. I appreciate all your comments. Thanks, everybody, and have a great couple of days. I hope to see you again on Thursday evening.